Welcome guys to another Peripheral recap, review and breakdown.
What an episode.
What an episode this was. And you know what? Before we get into some of the most amazing scenes we've seen in that episode, let's get straight to the recap. So we start this episode off with Flynn's mom losing her sight and being rushed to hospital, sneakily followed by Bob the Butcher. Wilf joins Lowbeer and the Peripherals as they visit a futuristic police training grounds called the Zoo. This futuristic setup tasks Burton and Connor against a tough challenge, whilst Flynn and Lowbeer have a very interesting conversation.
We then jump back to Tommy as he breaks into the evidence yard and retrieves the gravity gun, or the Doodad, as he likes to call it. Bob then shows us how much of a mad genius it is, slicing his arm along the vein to trick Reese. That leads us then into yet another brilliant and brutal fight scene. Bob stabs Reese repeatedly and then finally kills him with a chokehold. He then proceeds to use the two lovely ladies as bait for Flynn and Burton, and there's only one question that needs to be answered.
What's the difference between a sieve and a colander? Are they the same or what?
We then jump back to Lowbeer, who's asking Flynn a series of questions, but the tables turn when Flynn questions how much power Lowbeer really has. Before we're given a chance to digest that interesting conversation between Flynn and Lowbeer, we get to see Connor's peripheral kicked from the top of the building, but right before he does that, he still manages to get a little flirting with Beatrice. What a legend.
Shorty, you are fucking amazing.
Burton and Flynn are then raced to the scene to rescue their mom with a well-orchestrated play as they take down Bob the Butcher. Brilliant. Zubov confronts his two Scottish henchmen and learns more about the bacteria, where it's being stored and how they need to use it. Nuland makes an appearance and speaks with Lowbeer in this kind of power play between the two. We learn that Beatrice is not only a self-learning AI, but is also the peripheral of Lowbeer's daughter. We then head to Tommy as he confronts the sheriff and Picket. He surprises us all and kills the sheriff, making a move on Picket with the gravity gun. What a surprise. Steve, let's talk about that first.
What a scene, man. You know, Tommy, you've had this back and forth with Picket and Tommy and the sheriff for quite a while now. Yeah. And you think, oh, Tommy's going to bow down and do what the sheriff says. And then he rocks back up in that house at the end, and the sheriff's like, oh, you won't do this, Tommy, there's not a chance you do it. And he just absolutely unleashes him. I told you, he was going to be a bad guy. I told you, he's getting bad. That ain't bad, though, he's getting bad. It's not a bad guy, Ben. Just because he's a bad guy does not mean he's a bad guy. No, but you know what I mean? He's literally taken out the criminals out. I love the fact that Tommy's about to shoot Picket. Pickett's like, oh, you didn't count how many bullets you had in that gun, sonny. Just as Pickett's about to
he's like, I don't need to. And
he pulls out the Doodad, and I'm going to call it the Doodad from now on, because that is the best thing ever. And you can see Pickett's face going, what the hell's that? And just blasting.
No hesitation.
Oh my God. Well. Tommy doesn't care now. I think the thing is, though, we all know Pickett's a bad character, and Tommy would have grown up in this town. So Tommy would have known about Picket, and I would think Tommy's going to be punishing him, and I think he's taking the laundries on.
That's why he's more like a vigilante type guy.
Yeah, now, you didn't call this. You said Tommy was going to start to go back. So my question still is, what's going to happen with Tommy and Burton? Is Tommy going to come after Burton, or is Tommy going to see Burton as an ally still? And
I reckon it's a bit of, the power's shifted towards them too.
It has, like Tommy's, and he's got the Doodad as well. I love the Doodad. I love the fact he calls it bloody Doodad.
It is brilliant.
It's just so funny.
Well, do you know what? Speaking of that as well, what do you think about the previous owner of the Doodad? Good old Bob the Butcher.
What a fight scene this is. This is like the third episode in a row now. We've had these really weird fight scenes with knives.
Yeah.
I think it was clever, the fact that Bob cut along his vein. I mean, it was a risky move though as well, because obviously cutting yourself along the vein, that's quite bad. Yeah. But when he tricks Reese and he just stabs him,
I'll give credit to Reese. Like, he took several stabs. He did, and he was just carrying on.
He was going for it. And the thing is, here's the first thing now that I want to mention. So they all have haptics, right? They can all link up. Why would they not have shown Reese an image of Bob?
Yeah, but that's it, because I thought the same thing. I thought, okay, because at that time, you got to remember, that time they were in their peripherals.
Yeah, but...
So maybe the haptics will mess with their body, but because they're in the peripheral, they're in kind of like a scene.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, though, I'm not saying why was Reese not relaying that information back to them. what I'm saying is, when they first took out Bob and they knew that Bob had escaped, why have they not all synced up to all share a memory of what he looks like?
So Reese knew who he was.
Yeah, so he should know what he is, and that really confused me.
But maybe it was that kind of art of distraction. Like, he's come in with a bleeding arm. Like, Reese has suddenly just thought, oh my god, this is a guy bleeding.
I know,
maybe
but
the helpful nature took over.
Maybe, but I don't know. I think that was a lapse in judgment.
But with that as well, you know, I was, you know, when we cut back to a little bit further on in the show, and Burton obviously makes that power play and brilliantly shoots through the wall and kills Bob. It was fantastic. But they connect to Reese's dead body.
Yeah, and they make it move, didn't they?
And Connor was like, don't do it because he's going to feel it. And Burton was like, I don't care. Let's just get it done.
I think as well, I liked Bob's little speech during that, just after that fight, where he's talking to the doctor. He's like, oh, you're more of a surgeon. You're very delicate with the knife.
Yeah.
Likes nice clean cuts. He was like, you know, I was taught, you know, I make a lot. So he's like, at the end of the day, the way I look at it is, the more stab wounds I get, the quicker they bleed and die. And I love Bob's character. I'm almost sad to see him die because he's such he's such an amazing character, and it's short lived, mate. We need a Bob the Butcher spin-off. I want to see Bob the Butcher.
We do.
Going around
Bob
killing
the Butcher
people.
spin-off.
Bob the Butcher, the spin-off.
Love
the
it.
Butcher, can you kill
I can see that catching on fast.
Yeah, definitely. What an absolute
It was brilliant.
fantastic thing.
But what else I loved, again, because that was number one of the best fight scene, I think, of that episode.
Yeah.
Maybe even of the series, I don't know.
I don't know. It's pretty
Number
good fight.
two, obviously, Connor, Burton, in their peripherals. We're set with this futuristic scene of the building.
I love how it all just materialises out of nowhere.
Amazing.
What makes me... I like as well, she's like, how many floors you want? 8.
Yeah.
That implies to me, they're gone. They keep going on.
Well, it can go as forever, yeah.
Yeah, so they just keep going and going and going. And I think those fights, and you finally got to see Burton and Connor fight. And it was interesting to see how skillful Connor is. And
bear in mind, they had no weapons on the first floor.
I know, yeah, they just took
because they had to only have the weapons they could find.
And I feel that was great. If there was no guns, it was just knives.
Hand-to-hand combat, wasn't it? It was brilliant. And then obviously they get to the roof.
Oh, the roof scene, man, that's brilliant.
She's like, Beatrice is like, right, this is the next round. One person has to survive to win, basically.
Oh, on that fight, man. And then obviously she just absolutely dispatches Burton like he's nothing.
Within a second,
I love Connor's line here with, Shorty, you're fucking amazing. As he gets kicked off a roof, it's brilliant. And what I like there is she's obviously an AI. We don't know that. We sort of know she's an AI at that point, but we're not 100% sure. She liked that.
Yeah,
and
but that's not part of the programming, is it?
No, and this leads us on to the conversation where Dr. Nuland's there. Just before Dr. Nuland rocks in, Lowbeer asks Beatrice which one is the most reliable. She's like, and she lists off all these things, and obviously Burton's the most reliable, he's the most predictable. She's like, but I think you should choose Connor. And she's like, why? And then Beatrice is like, I don't know why. My programming just doesn't. And then she's like,
for me, that was
there's
that
something
moment,
deep down in my neural system that says he's the one you should pick. And I love the fact because he starts knowing.
Love always finds a way.
Yeah, but this is interesting now. How advanced are those AIs? Does that Beatrice have all of the knowledge of the previous Beatrice? Like how Dr. Nuland's henchman has all the previous knowledge of him. Does that Beatrice have? In which case, how close to human are they? Like, you know, because Connor makes a joke. Connor makes a joke when he wakes up. He's like, I'm going to fucking marry that robot. That's what he says.
But I think it's depending on how human they are. I think that's depending on who. Because if you cut back to Nuland in a couple of episodes ago when she was changing her henchman, she was saying, okay, alter the voice, give them this level of emotion. So I think you can make them as human as you want them to be.
But it felt like Beatrice, though, had this extra little spark in there. I think
that's because Lowbeer has obviously modelled this AI off her own daughter.
Yeah, and it sounds a lot like this is a special circumstance. We don't normally get these ones because Dr. Nuland was very surprised.
Yeah, she was. But then they wiped her memory straight away. It was like, I'm sorry, wipe your own memory and reboot.
I wonder if that is not just a robot. I wonder if that's a cyborg. I wonder if there's a bit of human still in there.
Do you think with there being AI that might happen again? She might say wipe your memory, and she might pretend to do it, but not actually wipe your memory.
I think something's going to happen with her.
Or the spark between her and Connor has stopped that from happening.
Well, I wonder if something's going to happen between her and Connor.
Yeah.
That's going to force her to almost become like a human. So we're going to get this end. Here's my end prediction with Connor.
Here we go.
So Connor and Beatrice are going to get together in some weird robot way.
Yeah.
Connor's obviously in a peripheral, so he's a robot.
Yeah.
And I wonder if at some point they're going to be able to transfer consciousness over to a peripheral completely, because they've already got an AI in a peripheral.
Yeah.
why can't they download the brain into it? And I'm thinking like Avatar style, where he can transfer himself into the Avatar.
I like
why can Connor not become a working peripheral? So I reckon that's the end game for Connor. Connor and Beatrice team up. That's it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think we will definitely see Beatrice and Connor team up.
Yeah, and I think obviously we're talking about Dr Nuland.
Yeah.
That scene with Dr Nuland when she comes in, can you kill everyone? Like, what?
That blew my mind. Because she was like, I want to kill Zubov and everyone involved, and then she was like, in our world and theirs, or something like that. And that for me, I was like, man. But then I'm thinking, is Lowbeer gonna go with that?
I know. I still think Lowbeer is trying to take her down. I still think this stub stuff.
For me, it was when Flynn and Lowbeer were talking, and then Flynn turned the question around and said, do you actually have the power?
Yeah, she was very like, shook then.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this is off the books. I wonder how much is off the books for everyone. And the thing is, what we have to remember is, Dr. Nuland obviously wants Flynn dead. Does she know that Flynn's got the memories in her brain? If she kills Flynn, does she lose that information from the God font that she so clearly wants? Because the information in the God font that Flynn's clearly in Flynn's head now is the ability to be able to mess with human emotions, isn't it? That's what they're after. They're trying to get that technology back. That's in Flynn's head. So if Flynn dies, is that gone? So it's a
but that's something. I'm sure that's something Lowbeer knows.
I don't know. Does
she's a good investigator. Like it's like what Zubov said in the previous episode. You know, she kind of knows things that if she asks you a question, expects that she knows the answer already. So I reckon she knows.
Yeah, mate. Well, then again, though, it sounded like Lubov didn't know.
Yeah.
Zubov, sorry, didn't know about that until that episode. I love the fact he comes in. I love the best thing there was when he talks to his kid. He's like, "Go and get me a knife." Oh my god, man!
I say and then the kid later on was like,
"Can I stay?
Can I stay?" And he's like, "Oh no, come on, man, dinner's ready."
Just one episode. So did you catch any of the any bits of the upcoming episode? Did you?
No, I didn't. I stayed clear of that because I like to keep a fresh mind when I watch. I don't want it.
So I watched it.
Share with me though.
And I thought, you know what? I was watching. I was like, just things are going mental in there now. I don't want to spoil. If you haven't watched the clip, let's not spoil it. But I think next week's final.
It's
going to be big, guys.
Finale.
It's the final, and I think from what I've been reading lately, season 2's already filming.
Ooh.
So again, season 2, I think, guys. Oh,
brilliant! Looking forward to that.
What an episode! I think next week's going to be fantastic. This climactic end scene. I
reckon there's going to be a few deaths.
Definitely. Oh, 100%, man. 100%. Something's going to happen. Oh, and obviously, what the thing I want to think is do we think Pickett's dead?
No.
Pickett's not dead, right? I meant to mention this during the scene.
Pickett, I'll be surprised if they show Pickett in the next episode. I want them to think, or I think they want us to believe that Pickett's dead, and then season 2, boom, he's there.
Yeah, I like how it's just flown under the radar. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming to our recap and review. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell us something else you want us to review and recap. Anyway, thank you for coming. Catch you soon.